A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
For the first time ever, the Dirt 200 Special is on the way on Turn 200. Welcome to Knoxville Raceway, home of the Knoxville Nationals, the Knoxville 360 Nationals, the Knoxville Late Model Nationals, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, and tonight it's home to the November Nationals for the inaugural round of the Dirt 200 Special. My name is Tommy Cook here at this lovely half-mile facility in Knoxville, Iowa, just down the street from the Rib Shack, just across the way from the Hy-Vee parking lot. It all happens here at the county fairgrounds. We got at least 12 drivers that are ready to go for a little bit of dirt track and action here this evening. Drivers are getting out onto the track for qualifying. We'll show you who we've got in store for you here. We'll see if a couple extra drivers are going to join the festivities late. Here is Justin Michael, a big self-professed not a huge fan of dirt. He did run quite well the other night, though, with the Max v CNC Home Designs Truck Series at the Charlotte Dirt Track. Of course, he's the reigning Truck 200 champion. He's the current points leader in the Max v CNC Home Designs Truck Series Chase, the second winningest driver on the channel. And he is out here ripping laps at Knoxville. Here is the Silent Assassin, Matt Schlosser, the reigning Venom Truck Series champion, out on the track. Schlosser's second lap is third quickest. Justin Michael, his first lap is good enough for provisional pole. He goes to the top of the board. He's coming back to the stripe to try and better it. And he will not. But a 21.54, that is a high mark to beat. Stephen C. Thompson now out on the speedway, fifth quickest on his opening circuit. The two-time Daredevil Series champion is here this evening. James Watson in the 39 truck. His second lap is the quicker of his two. Will go eighth quickest with a 21.83. Check it back in on Stephen C. Thompson, coming to put lap number 2 in the books. He's currently fifth, wants to improve, and he improves slightly, but will stay in the fifth position. 10 of our 12 drivers have posted a qualifying lap. James Lehman now looking to make that 11. As I want to say hello to anybody that is watching us here this evening. Hello to Garrett Rainey, who's doing a little race control for us here this evening as well. Hopefully with 12 drivers on this big half mile, pretty flat. Not a ton of banking, but a berm to work with there on the inside that'll throw these drivers for a little bit of a loop. Hopefully Garrett Rainey isn't getting too much of a workout here this evening, but we will just have to wait and see. Halfway through our 5-minute allotted qualifying time, James Lehman to the top of the board, 21.43. Fastest lap of the night as the sun continues to set here. Track state is set at 10%. and it is not going to budge, or rather come back down. No track work will be done throughout the course of the evening. It's only going to continue to get worked in more and more. Second lap, a 10th off of his first lap, but James Lehman has the top time in qualifying. One driver left to go out on the circuit. Spencer Chisnell, I believe, will be making his channel debut here this evening in truck number 29. Don't know much about this driver, but his first lap is 7th quickest. That we do know for sure. 21.79, again, 21.43 is the number to beat, and Spencer is not going to do it. A little bit out of shape there, out of turn number 2. So unless we get a late addition, we've got 12 drivers that are slated to go for probably what will be 2 10-lap heat races. Why don't we give you a look at the schedule? There's one notable name that is missing here tonight. Joshua Monachek is enjoying an anniversary evening with his wife. Normally we would expect Bailey to be in the chat as well, but they're off enjoying the evening. So we'll look forward to having Joshua back in the lineup next week at the Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. 100-lap feature coming up next Friday night. We'll head to the USA Dirt Track, the big 3/4-mile dirt, I guess, fantasy track, if you will, since it doesn't really exist anymore. But that will be round number 3. Bristol Dirt on tap December 5th. After an off week for Thanksgiving, we go to Lernerville after that for December 12th. A couple of weeks off for the holiday season, and a Smile and a Soda in the mix there as well. And Eldora will finish out our 6-round mini-series here for the Dirt 200 Special. It's got a unique points format that we're excited to see the tabulations of after it's all said and done here this evening. Matt Williamson is still out on the track, ripping some laps, getting a little bit of extra practice as he was one of the last drivers to join the session. And we'll see what our friend and compatriot has got here on the track as we get ready to go heat racing for the first time in the Dirt 200 Special. Starting grid for the heat race number 1 will look like this. It will be James Lehman, your quick qualifier from earlier tonight in truck number 50 that will start on the pole position to his outside on the front row. Joey Kirk in the Ford F-150 number 37. Number 2 on the inside is the reigning Venom Truck Series champion in truck number 400. That is Matt Schlosser in the 3rd starting spot. To his outside in truck number 29, that is Spencer Chisnell. On the back row, on the inside, truck number 7, an ASRL Sports Car Championship regular, as well as a regular of the Special Stage Pro Truck Series. That is Josh Heggie in truck number 7. And the 613 Special Stage Homebrew driver, Colin McDonough, will round out the lineup for heat race number 1. Sun continues to set. Not terrifically important what the quote-unquote track temperature is, as we're dealing with the thick, wet mud here at the Knoxville Raceway. This dark clay is what these drivers will be working up against here this evening. But 75 degrees, the ambient temperature. It is a lovely night out in central Iowa. Drivers rolling off of pit road. Here they come. Bonus points on the line for anybody that is chasing the Dirt 200 Special Championship for a good finish in the heat race. One element that will be brought into play ahead of, or rather in tonight's feature, is passing points. If we could, with this very busted iRacing, heat racing format, developer thing, I don't know what you want to call it. We would use passing points to determine the starting lineups for the features. Hopefully that is something that will be implemented down the line, along with just a more comprehensive system overall. 10 laps the distance for your 2 heat races this evening. James Lehman and Joey Kirk on row 1. Matt Schlosser and Spencer Chisnell on row 2. Josh Heggie and Colin McDonough on row number 3. And heat race number 1 is green. Lehman sucking right into that berm. So is Matt Schlosser, rolling that left front tire over as they go side by side for the top spot. Lehman on the inside of Joey Kirk. Schlosser, meanwhile, sliding up to cover off Chisnell and hold on to the 3rd position. Here's Lehman and Kirk side by side, still for the lead. 9 laps to go. Kirk rolling middle, looking for a big run here down the back straightaway. He has got a peek here to the inside of James Lehman. Lehman, though, good 3 and 4. Here comes Schlosser now around the outside. You can hear the undulation of this, one of the flatter tracks that we're going to go to here in the Dirt 200 special season. But flatter does not mean flat by any means. And these drivers are hardly going to be going flat out. Kirk working to the inside of Schlosser, trying to hang on to the 2nd spot as James Lehman is driven away up front. Watching the silent assassin go to work here, trying to uproot the 37 of Kirk for 2nd. Halfway home in heat race number 1, 5 down and 5 to go. Lehman leading Kirk, Schlosser, Heggie the top 4. Chisnell back to 5th. Colin McDonough riding in the 6th position. Kirk last time around ran his personal fastest lap of the race. But a little bit of a slip up there, and that also causes a bobble there for Schlosser as Kirk caught the berm there on entry. Schlosser loses the truck in the middle of 1 and 2. Venture further back. They got no transfers to work for here with only 12 drivers in the overall car count. Colin McDonough was trying to make a pass on Chisnell there for 5th, but we'll watch Chisnell now drive away. James Lehman will see the Illinois green waving here at Iowa at the stripe 2 more times around in heat race number 1. Schlosser again trying to close in on Joey Kirk here for the 2nd position. Only a half a mile to go at the line. Kirk able to maintain a half a second gap over Matt Schlosser through turns 3 and 4. James Lehman will head to the stripe, and he will win the first ever heat race for the Dirt 200 Special. Lehman leads all 10 en route to heat race victory. Joey Kirk in the 2nd position. Matt Schlosser will finish in 3rd. 4th for Josh Heggie. Spencer Chisnell will finish in 5th, and Colin McDonough in the 6th and final position. We go now to heat race number 2's starting lineup, the final heat of the night. No B-main for the evening, so this will lead us straight into our warm-up ahead of tonight's 75-lap feature. Justin Michael will lead the field to green with Matt Williamson in the 199, lining up to his outside. Stephen C. Thompson has got a fan in the chat. Shout out to Andrew Sabo. Stephen C. Thompson will start in the 3rd position to the inside of Greg Johnson in truck number 150. On the back row, it's the boss man, James Watson, who will line up in 5th, and Gary Clark in the 8 truck in the 6th and final starting spot. A little bit of difficulties getting off of pit road, it looks like. Not 100% sure what happened there. But regardless, they go 2x2 here, headed into heat race number 2. Once again, 75-lap feature on the way. We'll have a short mid-roll break, intermission, if you will. This track state is not going to reset, but it's still looking pretty good. Certainly will be in an optimal spot to start tonight's 75-lap feature. Pace truck will hang a left, and it'll be Justin Michael and Matt Williamson on row 1, Stephen C. Thompson and Greg Johnson on row 2, James Watson and Gary Clark on row number 3. Green flag. Michael with a good jump. Williamson hangs on to second as Stephen C. Thompson now will pull up into third. Watson and Johnson, teammates side by side for fourth. That's the Blue Thunder F-150. Watson thought about pulling a little slider there. Johnson going to lose the nose up the track, and Watson is clear for fourth. Thompson running in third now, going to be under fire from Watson. Watson keeping it right to that inside berm. Thompson up in the fluff. But he's got a good run down the front stretch, but not enough to overcome James Watson. Watson, short slider to hang on to third. As Thompson and Johnson stack up behind him at fourth and fifth, respectively, they put some distance back to Gary Clark. It's Justin Michael and Matt Williamson at the front of the field as there goes Johnson through on Thompson. Thompson trying to answer back here on the outside as Johnson got a little bit loose down low. Different lines around Knoxville as we have lost our lap counter, unfortunately. You know, sometimes the heat racing does mess up our overlays just a little bit, so we'll get rid of them for now. Let's go kickpot cam here with Matt Williamson. 0.8 of a second behind Justin Michael, trying to hang in there, but a little bit of a slip up there out of turn number 4. It will be 6 laps complete at the line with 4 remaining. And Williamson is clawing back here. Justin Michael in front, only 3/4 of a second. Williamson a lot lower there on corner exit. Justin Michael looking like he's able to get to the throttle a little bit quicker out of 3 and 4. And Williamson sends it in pretty deep there into 1. He's starting to lose just a little bit of time. Quick look further back. Stephen C. Thompson catching James Watson once again. Thompson running in the 4th position now. 3 laps to go. Make that 2 laps to go. Take a quick peek. Nope, not going to work so. White flag, 1 to go. Justin Michael up front. Williamson again within half a second, but a little bit wide there into 1 and 2. Thompson hounding Watson here for the final heat racing podium position. Thompson down low. They'll go side by side for third as Justin Michael wins heat race number 2. At the stripe, it's Watson in third. Thompson in 4th. Greg Johnson in the 5th position. Gary Clark in 6th. and Matt Williamson will bring home the runner-up position. So the Bandit Racing boys, James Lehman and Justin Michael, your heat race winners, as we step aside for a mid-roll break and come back with the racing action ahead of 75 laps tonight at Knoxville.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
Welcome back to our coverage of the November Nationals. The Dirt 200 special inaugural feature is on the way. In just 20 seconds time, we'll have tonight's starting lineup. A reminder, we'll be back in action next Friday night, same time, this time at the Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 in Peevely, Missouri. We'll hope to see you there for 100 laps around a tight, just under 3/8 of a mile bull ring. Fighter jets in a gymnasium whenever the sprint cars get on there, and we'll look forward to having them, or rather the NASCAR trucks, on a very tight circuit next Friday night. It is time to go feature racing here tonight at Knoxville Raceway. The November Nationals is on the way, and here is how they will roll off for tonight's feature. Leading the field to green out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina in truck number 50. It's the Chevy Silverado of James Lehman. To his outside, out of West Virginia, piloting the Daniel Defense floorboard deep number 87 Toyota Tundra, the reigning Truck 200 champion of Justin Michael. Our number 2 on the inside in truck number 37, the Ford F-150 of Joey Kirk. On his outside, out of Hannah City, Illinois, piloting the Turn 200 Busch Light Jack's Pizza, number 199 Ford F-150, that is Matt Williamson. Row 3 on the inside, he's the reigning Venom Truck Series champion out of Frederick, Maryland, in the Old Mother Brewing, McCutcheon's Apple Products, special stage number 400 Chevy Silverado of Matt Schlosser. And to his outside, a two-time Daredevil Series champion out of California in the Team Watson Racing Setups Boomer Button Boxes Icon Apparel, number 39 of James Watson. Row 4 on the inside in the number 7 F-150, the Red Dog Eminent Signs and Graphics entry for Josh Heggie. And to his outside, out of Carmel, Indiana, the Press Start Player One Esports Team Watson Racing number 24, the Ford F-150, that is Stephen C. Thompson. Row 5 on the inside, Greg Johnson in truck number 150. Spencer Chisnell in truck number 29 is outside in the back row. In truck number 613 out of Trenton, New Jersey, that is Colin McDonough. Gary Clark in truck number 8 out of Hackett, Arkansas will round out tonight's feature lineup for 75 laps around the Knoxville Raceway. Matt Williamson in the chat says it is going to be tough to get around the Thursday night crew. Yes, indeed. The 1-2 finishers and a photo finish last night to kick off the Max V Chase at Las Vegas Motor Speedway are here slinging the dirt. They've both won their heat races. James Lehman after taking quick time earlier in the evening. Justin Michael second fastest in qualifying and wins heat race number 2. 75 laps at the Knoxville Raceway. James Lehman, Justin Michael, Joey Kirk, and Matt Williamson cocked, locked, and ready to rock. It's the November Nationals for the Dirt 200 Special, and it's green. Three wide for just a moment for spot number 4 as they go side by side for the race lead. It's Michael on the outside, Lehman on the inside. Williamson will hang on to third. He's got a challenge to the inside from Joey Kirk. Kirk might have his hands full with James Watson. Down the front stretch, Lehman will lead the opening lap. As the fireworks continue to fire off here in the sprint car racing capital of the world. Kirk looking to shore up this 4th position as Watson now is under fire from Matt Schlosser. Schlosser going to move it up to the middle of the track and try and pin Watson to this top side, and it might just work. I wonder what the pyrotechnic budget here is at Knoxville. 3 wide for second. Kirk will give away down low, but Williamson and Michael side by side for second now. Michael up into the fluff just a bit, and Williamson will move up to second. Unlimited sets of tires in the pits, but if you come down pit road during this race, it is a mistake. You don't have to. These trucks literally cannot take fuel on the dirt tracks, so fuel is not an issue. Oh, Williamson this time way high, maybe trying to see what's up at the top side of this track, but he is 3/4 of a second behind James Lehman, and Williamson has got Justin Michael in lockstep now. Michael down there putting those left side tires. You can see a little slick line developing there through turns 1 and 2. Michael going to give it a shot here to the inside of the 199 for second. But Williamson able to maintain momentum off the top side of the track. A lot of patience being exhibited here early. The top 6 have pretty much broken away from the rest of the pack between Watson and 6 in this battle for 7th with Stephen C. Thompson. There's about a full second. Lehman and Williamson putting down pretty equal lap times at the moment as we've got an issue further back. Looks like Greg Johnson is gone around, and the leaders will be coming up on him pretty quick. We'll see if he can get it back in gear and stay green. Looks like that is going to be the case indeed. Williamson again just pushing up a little too high there. Michael digging underneath, looking for second. And that truck just slipping out from underneath the 199. You can see the little discoloration there. Track's starting to be run in just a bit on the middle. James Watson, oh man. Kirk using that inside berm. Hard to see it with the naked eye, especially a lot of the exterior shots. Don't do that berm justice. Even there, hard to tell exactly what you're looking at, but drivers know if you've ever ripped a lap around Knoxville and you've tried to use that berm, it ain't going to work. Now, it'll retain a pocket of moisture throughout the most of the race, a lot better than the bottom side of most tracks will, but you really got to be on it to use that bottom. Michael riding in third. Matt Williamson now has fallen to a second and a half behind the race leader, James Lehman, lap number 13 on the board across the stripe, so a long way to go in this one. Watson sandwiched between Kirk and Schlosser. 4th, 5th, and 6th they go. Josh Hagee riding in the 8th position. Colin McDonough in 9th. Spencer Chisnell in 10th. Gary Clark in the 11th position. And there's Greg Johnson. But in some decent lap times after the little spin. Let's take a look at what happened here for the 150. Kind of riding out on his own. And, yeah, just going to get a little bit too sideways on the gas. And I think Greg Johnson has just had another issue back in real time, and he will head to the pits. This is Joey Kirk now getting after it on the inside of Justin Michael. The Wonder Bread Chevy Silverado working hard here, sticking to the bottom. Michael still ripping the middle in top side. Oh, and there he goes. Michael into the outside wall. Looked like it just got out from underneath of him as we stay green. It is easy to do. Michael now falls back to 10th. It puts Joey Kirk in a podium spot now in 3rd. James Watson up to 4th. Matt Schlosser in 5th. Stephen T. Thompson riding in the 6th spot. Josh Hagee 7th. Colin McDonough 8th. Spencer Chisnell in 9th. Now with Justin Michael breathing down his neck. Gary Clark, the last driver, running in the 11th spot. Looking at the lap times up front, last couple times around, Matt Williamson's been a little bit quicker. This gap now stands at right about a second after Lehman had gotten out to a 1.5-second lead. So Williamson might be finding something here. As again, you can see a little shiny slick off section there in the middle part of the corner in 3 and 4. Oh, Lehman swinging way wide through the middle of 1 and 2. Just past the Clausen Suites and the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. Very cool if you ever make your way out to Knoxville. Got to check out the Hall of Fame. And a Knoxville Nationals week or even just a Saturday at Knoxville should be on every motorsports fan's bucket list. It is an insanely cool event. Here is Spencer Chisnell trying to hang on to the 9th position as Justin Michael is digging hard to his inside. Both lines seem to be about even right now. Michael trying to move up just a bit to the middle. We'll see if he can get it done eventually. Kirk riding in third, Watson closing in. They're both using that berm. Watson maybe a little bit too much, shoots him straight up to a little bit of a cushion that's forming there. Doesn't look like there's much of a cushion in 1 and 2, though. Well, or 3 and 4. You can hear how gingerly Michael is using the throttle as Chisnell slides up in front of the 87, but Michael still finds some room to the outside. Try and power ahead and finally take this 9th position. And Michael will do just that. So Michael with a long way to go. He's 10.7 seconds behind the race leader, James Watson. Actually, make that 13.7 seconds behind James Watson. Whoa. Watson up on the tabletop there on the inside all the way. So tidy to keep it down there with those left side tires. Hello to Robin Monachek. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out with us. You know, it is dirt track racing. Kind of. Doesn't beat the real thing, but hopefully a close second. And yeah, we're looking forward to having Joshua back next week. I'm sure he will come back and watch this one after a wonderful night out, take some notes, and be ready to go for Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 next week. Kirk drifts all the way up, looking for a big run down the backstretch, but Watson is catfishing the inside and doing a nice job. Trying to chip away here at Kirk for third. Kirk that time pinches the 39 down the track, the Blue Thunder. Team Watson Racing setups entry. Makes me think of the late great Tony Farrell. Certainly Watson has had a couple of Monster Jam moments here tonight, using that berm on the inside of the track. He's gotten up over it a few times, but he's still pretty fast. Two and a quarter seconds at the front of the field. James Lehman is driven away from Matt Williamson for the moment. Williamson holds on to second. This is the battle for third. The only other battle for position on the track right now, Josh Heggie and Colin McDonough for seventh. Heggie trying to keep the 613 behind him. Justin Michael putting in a couple of good laps here. He'll look to join this fray with Heggie and McDonough here momentarily. Stephen C. Thompson riding in sixth. And we jump back up to Watson. Now going to the top side to try and track Joey Kirk back down. But Kirk opens it up to half a second. Brian Matt Schlosser 1 1/4 seconds behind. You do have to be cognizant. I'm not saying you're in any sort of danger. Gary Clark is stopped on the top side of the track, and he is headed back to the pits. What happened to Gary Clark? It might be the same old song and dance. No. Straight into the wall, trying to stay high for lap traffic, and that truck just goes straight into the fence. We are still green. Across halfway. And the halfway mark, James Lehman has dominated. He's led every single circuit. Williamson 2.5 seconds behind. Has fluctuated between the top, between the bottom. As this track continues to evolve, I'm sure he'll move around and try and find where it's going to roll the best. Meanwhile, Kirk and Watson battling for the bronze still. And Hege and McDonough with Justin Michael quickly approaching them. They continue to battle for 7th. Flipping back and forth between the battle for 3rd and the battle for 7th. McDonough gets the door shut, trying to get to the top side of Hege. He'll have to take it down low. Little tank swap there for the 613. We'll get it back in line and we'll fall just a couple truck lengths back from Hege. Into the 40s now. Lap 42 of 75 for the November Nationals. Watson and Kirk. Look at how much counter steer put it in there. I mean, that's a steering offset of like 10 degrees at least. Basically pulling to the right down into his lap. Little break there to get that rear end kicked out. He's just wrapping the bottom so beautifully. It's still working. Well, not as much there. Watson again just getting the whole left sides up there. As they go side by side for 7th once again, McDonough underneath of Hege. Hege ripping the top side for a big run to try and get this spot back as McDonough's got it across the stripe. But I think Colin McDonough has the spot. Nicely done for the 613. Hege back to 8th with Justin Michael right behind now. Gap is now 5.5 seconds at the front of the field for James Lehman over Matt Williamson. Lehman is rolling in the 50 truck. Kirk now with some separation, and not only that, Matt Williamson is falling back into his lap. Justin Michael ripping the tall fencing. The multi-guardrails stacked on top of one another there through 1 and 2. Literally the main drag of town is on the other side of that. There's a sidewalk and a 4-lane road and a Hy-Vee parking lot. And many a sprint car have cleared that fence. It's never a pretty sight. Looks like Spencer Chisnell has come across an issue. He is headed to the pits as Justin Michael putting it up in the wall to try and get this 8th position, and he has got it. Kirk and Watson continuing to advance on Williamson here for the 2nd position. As Williamson committing to the top side here, Kirk and Watson both able to get it done on the bottom now with 24 laps to go at the stripe. Truck maybe is going away a little bit for Williamson. Kirk rapping there on the berm. Matt is still able to get good drive out of the turns, though, from this top side, and that might do him some favors here for a couple laps as Kirk goes up to block Watson, and Watson up into the guardrail. Williamson would love for these two to get back to battling. Watson coming back with a big run. All this taking place 5 seconds behind the race leader, James Lehman. Haven't seen much of him on camera. That's because he has checked out. Kirk making good ground, just can't make the exit stick. To maintain that position, he's going to throttle up here on entry, though. Williamson able to get back to the gas here on the outside and pull back away down the straight. Little by little, Kirk getting closer and closer. Able to drive it deeper on entry, still get it hooked there down low. He's got a nose out ahead for second. 199 though, still getting good drive off the top. Williamson getting right down there on the right rear quarter panel. They are door to door for second. This time Kirk gonna pull his slider. Williamson will cross underneath. Desperately fighting to hold on to second. He's got it back. Gonna pull the trigger on the slider. No, Kirk is there. Kirk now looking for the big run off of 4 to pull back ahead on the outside. Joey Kirk has got second with 17 to go. Watson now riding right behind Williamson, lying in wait. These three are 2 seconds clear of Matt Schlosser and 5 seconds behind the race leader, James Lehman. Track taking on a lot of character, slicking on the straights. Big slick there through the middle. Rooster tailing. Williamson and Watson for the final podium position. James Lehman is coming back a little bit here. That gap was 5 seconds. It is now only 3. As maybe the right rear tire going away here for the 50 truck late in the running. We'll have to wait to see if this gap is going to continue to come down. It seems to have stabilized right around 3 seconds, so maybe just a little slip up for the 50 truck, getting him out of his rhythm. He might be right back into it. Williamson's moved down to the bottom, using all the berm there. Washes it up the track. Behind them, Schlosser now under fire from Stephen C. Thompson. Thompson has just been chipping away at the 400 truck little by little. Thompson working underneath. He's got a nose out ahead of the 400 truck. Now Schlosser firing back around the outside. Oh, Thompson, a little bit too much berm there on exit, and Schlosser able to pull back away. Already 1 second clear. Williamson and Watson. Ten and a half laps to go. Gap has stabilized at the front of the field. Lehman still 3 seconds ahead. James Lehman still ahead by 4 seconds. Joey Kirk in second. Williamson has been able to fend off Watson for the time being. Schlosser and Thompson still going at it here. Schlosser a little bit out of shape there. Thompson not quite able to capitalize. Still within a couple truck lengths here for a spot in the top 5. And now it's Thompson out of shape through 3 and 4. 5 make it 4.5 laps to go for James Lehman, who's into lap traffic. The 7 of Josh Hagee, the last driver running on the track in the 9th position, lays ahead. But Lehman with a 4.5 second lead with 4 to go. Williamson now with a 1.3 second advantage over James Watson, but is 2 seconds behind Joey Kirk. 3 laps to go. Hagee banged it off the fence. Should we get a late race caution? Hagee wants to be on the lead lap. Illinois green waving, 2 to go. Coming to the white flag. James Lehman with 1 lap to go. It'll be a wire-to-wire win in the November Nationals at Knoxville. The inaugural Dirt 200 special feature goes to James Lehman. Joey Kirk will finish in second. Matt Williamson rounds out the podium. James Watson and Matt Schlosser to round out the top 5. As James Lehman victorious in the Dirt 200 special feature at Knoxville Raceway. The November Nationals go to the pole sitter. This is one of the tracks where you can get to victory lane. We'll see if Lehman knows that. He's going to the pavement, though. He is burning it down. And he earned it here. Dominant performance tonight. An official margin of victory of 4.77 seconds over Joey Kirk. He has cleared the scales. He's on the wrong side of the boards, though, but will knock down the fence and park at an FVP NOS Energy victory lane. Many a legend has parked their vehicle there at the end of the night at Knoxville, and James Lehman can now join that list. I think he's just going to keep doing those burnouts. There we go. All right, let's get the results at the end of 75 laps here tonight. James Lehman with the win. Joey Kirk in second. Matt Williamson in third. We hope to talk to all three of these gentlemen momentarily. We'll certainly hear from two of them at least. James Watson will finish in spot number 4. It's Matt Schlosser in 5th, narrowly over Steven C. Thompson in the 6th position. Colin McDonough fends off Justin Michael there at the end of the race. They finish in 7th and 8th, respectively. Josh Heggie 1 lap down in the 9th position. And DNFs for Spencer Chisnell, Gary Clark, and Greg Johnson in 10th, 11th, and 12th, respectively. We'll let the music fade, and we'll go in search now. Your third place finisher will appreciate me trying to make this transition here. Matt Williamson is in booth 200, and we'll take home a hard-fought P3 here this evening. Welcome in as a competitor. Don't always get to do this very often, but it's nice to talk to you at the end of the night of racing.
Yeah, it's nice to get to talk to you. There for a minute, I thought I was going to blow the opportunity for an interview at the end of the night. So it was nice to be able to rally there towards the end and still beat out James Watson.
I mean, you guys were throwing these trucks everywhere. We had drivers catfishing the inside. We have drivers. I mean, James Watson was living up to the Blue Thunder name. He was monster jamming it over the berm there for a while. And, of course, ripping the middle. The middle's going to slick off. Ripping the top. The top didn't quite come in like I was expecting it to. I mean, where could you put this truck here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, you could put it a lot of places. To be honest, I really thought the top was going to come in at some point, too. And I really thought, I was sitting about a second behind James Lehman there for quite a while. And I was like, man, if I can just kind of stay this far behind him. Once that top starts rolling, and I feel pretty confident that I could make some hay there. And I tried it, I don't know, maybe around halfway through the race, and it just wasn't there. I wasn't getting anything out of it. So, but I mean, I was trying to run the slider line pretty much all night. It seemed to work sometimes. Sometimes wrapping the bottom seemed to work better. I also tried backing up the corner and then, shooting down the racetrack halfway through the corner at one point. That didn't really work out either. So, I was trying to put it everywhere I could. Honestly, that's part of the reason I probably lost out on second tonight.
I mean, talk about, kind of being out on your own island for as long as you were. You sort of, I don't know, I feel like it's sort of a negative thing for you to be out in second as long as you were kind of by yourself. What did you learn when Joey Kirk, I guess, was battling with you and then went by? Did you pick anything up?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he was kind of running like a half slider line, but still sticking to the bottom. And I was more sliding all the way through the corner up to the top of the racetrack, and he was still able to get plenty of drive off, just kind of settling in the middle of the track, midway through the corner and still able to get a good drive off. So I kind of figured that out, when he was coming to me, but I hadn't quite figured out how to run it good yet when he got to me. So I just kept running the top, and it was too good. I tried to cut underneath him and try the line on him once, and I almost wrecked him. So I was like, I'm going to let him go, and I'm just going to try and hang on to third here.
Well, good to talk to you here. Congrats on the inaugural podium position for the Dirt 200 special, and shout-outs for you.
Yeah, shout out to you for broadcasting. It's fun to finally get to do this. We've talked about something like this for a long time. So shout out to Matt Schlosser, Josh Monacek, and you, of course, for kind of manning the reins and putting this thing on for us here. Shout out to my fiance Madison for letting me do this on a Friday night. She'll be glad to get me back here in just a few minutes. And I think that'll do. Oh, shout out to the Murph band, the old dog Murph.
There you go. Well, I'd tell you this much: she could keep you. I'm done with you for the night. Congrats on the podium. We'll talk to you Tuesday for the Venom Truck Series in Monza.
Thanks, partner. Sounds good.
And no Joey Kirk from the looks of it, so we'll head on over to Casey's General Store Victory Lane, where we find James Lehman with a dominant victory here tonight in the inaugural race for the Dirt 200 Special. Congratulations on the win here tonight.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well, I mean, there wasn't any doubt after we sort of got the lay of the land in the heat races that you were going to be the one to beat here tonight. Matt Williamson said as much before the start of the feature. But, I mean, what clicked for you here tonight at Knoxville? Because you were able to drive away pretty easily.
To be honest, I just love the dirt trucks. I'll be honest, I just love them a lot. Now the key thing here with Knoxville is you're looking for the grip. I mean, that was the biggest thing. I realize there's a lot of grip on the bottom, but if you run the bottom too long, you'll start slowing down. So then you got to start sliding to the top, and you just got to rotate around. You can't run the same line the whole time. So.
I mean, if you look at the lap chart or the lap time chart, I'm sure probably 70 of 75 laps you were gapping. But there was a couple of laps there that maybe, I guess if anything for drama for the broadcast, that I mean, you lost like 2 seconds in a couple of laps. I mean, was that traffic? Was that you having to move the truck around or getting in the wall maybe? What was going on there?
Honestly, that was me daydreaming. I wasn't even I was just too lost. So
nice to be able to do that.
Lost.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean, I hopefully next week we have some more faces show up, and hopefully Josh shows up. So he can put on a fight. He talks all that crap that he's a dirt racer, but he said to come out and race, and he didn't show up. Said sucker. All right, see how it is. So.
Well. The wife won tonight for Joshua. We love Bailey.
Can't blame that.
They missed their anniversary to do a Max V race the other night, so they're going out and partying tonight. And I'm sure he'll put belt to ass for you next week at I-55. So
I will say I-55 is probably going to be a very tough track for everybody. So a lot different than this one.
I agree 100%. It's going to be a wild one next week, and we're looking forward to getting you back there for that one. But you have won the November Nationals here tonight, the inaugural Dirt 200 Special race. Congratulations. Let's get some shout-outs in for you.
Thank you to Matt for putting this on. It's a great series, in my opinion. Love the format, and thanks to you for always doing an amazing broadcast.
Alrighty, partner. Thanks for the time here tonight. Congrats on the win, and we'll hope to talk to you again next Thursday, if not next Friday.
All right. Take care.
All right, the big win goes to James Lehman here tonight. He leads, I think, every lap. Justin Michael may have snuck in a lap or two on him there. But pretty much every lap was led by James Lehman here tonight. And yes, indeed, Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 next Friday night is where you can catch us for the Dirt 200 Special, round number 2 of the season. We'll go to the Bull Ring down in Peevely, Missouri. That is the Turn 200 home race, and we're excited for that one next week. Thank you to everybody that was hanging out with us in the chat here tonight. Garrett Rainey, thanks for manning the controls. And thank you to Andrew Sabo, and thanks to Matt Williamson and Robin Monacek. And thank you to anybody else that was hanging out with us here this evening as well. Greatly appreciate it. We'll hope to catch you for some racing action next week on Turn 200. Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series will be live from Monza, the road course with no first chicane. We'll catch you there at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Wednesday night, the Daredevil Series will be live from Legacy, Michigan. Catch us there at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Round number 2 of the Maximum Velocity CNC Home Designs Truck Series Chase taking place at Auto Club. We'll see you there at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And back here next Friday night, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, it's I-55 for round number 2 of the Dirt 200 Special. Thank you to Joshua Matacek of Dirt Track and Sim Racing League. Thank you to Matt Schlosser of the Special Stage Racing League. And thank you to all the drivers that came out here tonight. And, that's all we got for you here tonight. Until we meet again from Knoxville Raceway, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long, and congratulations to James Lehman, winner of the inaugural Dirt 200 Special Race, the November Nationals. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.